The truth about seafood after 60, shrimp, squid, scallops, they sound like smart, healthy choices, right? They're on fancy restaurant menus, weekend dinner plates, even meal plans for older adults. But once you're past 60, some of these familiar seafoods might be quietly doing more harm than good, hurting your joints, stiffening your arteries, upsetting your gut, and weakening your immune system, all without leaving obvious clues until it's too late. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 seafoods you should avoid after 60, and 4 others you should start eating weekly if you want to stay mobile, protect your digestion, support your skin, and feel more energy every day. This isn't guesswork or clickbait. Every single claim is backed by actual science. We spend hours digging into clinical research, cross-checking data, and what we found may surprise you. You might wonder why you haven't heard about this before. Why isn't your doctor talking about it? Why don't you see it in the news? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Seafood is a multi-billion-dollar global industry, and the very foods that could be quietly damaging your aging body are often the industry's biggest exports. They're not just popular, they dominate grocery shelves, restaurant menus, and senior diets everywhere. Now, if you're in your 60s, 70s, or helping a loved one navigate aging with strength and dignity, this matters. Because the older body doesn't work the way it used to. The liver filters more slowly, the kidneys don't flush as efficiently, your digestive system gets more sensitive, and your immune response becomes unpredictable. Every bite you take isn't just about calories or taste anymore. It's about staying strong, sharp, and steady. Before we dive into the worst offenders, let me ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop it in the comments. We're reading every single one and love hearing your stories. Now let's begin with the very first seafood you need to stop eating, especially if you've ever dealt with joint pain, high blood pressure, or unexplained fatigue. And trust me, it's not the one most people expect. Seafood for to avoid squid. Let's start with a seafood that looks harmless, maybe even gourmet. It's low in fat, high in protein, and often served in stylish rings or grilled on skewers. I'm talking about squid. But once you hit 60, this popular choice can quietly become a metabolic trap. On the surface, squid sounds like a smart pick. It's lean, it's light, it's not fried. But let's go deeper. Just 3 ounces of cooked squid contain nearly 200 milligrams of cholesterol. That's over 65% of your recommended daily limit, gone in just a few bites. Now here's the part most folks don't realize. Once we pass 60, the liver doesn't regulate cholesterol the way it used to. It slows down. And that means dietary cholesterol, what you eat, starts to have a much greater impact on your actual blood cholesterol levels. A 2021 study in the journal Nutrients found that seniors with high cholesterol intake had a 43% greater risk of arterial stiffness. That's one of the first warning signs of heart trouble, before stroke, before heart attack. But that's not the only issue. Squid is also high in purines. These are natural compounds that break down into uric acid inside the body. In younger adults, the kidneys usually handle this pretty well. But in seniors, uric acid tends to build up. And when it does, it can crystallize inside the joints, triggering painful flare-ups of gout, a form of inflammatory arthritis that's already more common in people over 60. Researchers in the Journal of Gerontology reported that seniors who ate high-purine seafood more than twice per week had a 54% higher risk of developing joint inflammation over 2 years. So if you've been eating squid thinking it's a clean, healthy swap, it might be time to rethink it, especially if you're dealing with high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, or waking up with sore joints. This one small seafood could be silently setting fires inside your body. Fires you won't feel until they've already done damage. Seafood 3 to avoid. Imitation crab, surimi. You've seen it in California rolls, seafood salads, even frozen crab sticks at the grocery store. It looks like crab. It's shaped like crab. Sometimes it even smells a little like crab. But imitation crab, also known as surimi, is about as close to real crab as plastic cheese is to cheddar. And for older adults, it's one of the worst seafood imposters you can put on your plate. Let's break it down. Imitation crab is made from a paste of pulverized white fish, usually low-quality pollock, blended with starch, sugar, salt, and artificial flavoring. By the time it's molded into those little sticks, it's no longer seafood. It's a processed food-like product. But here's where things get dangerous, especially after 60. Surimi is loaded with simple carbs and sodium. A single serving, about 3 ounces, contains roughly 12 grams of carbs, 5 grams of sugar, and nearly 450 milligrams of sodium. And there's barely any real nutrition left. No meaningful omega-3s, no usable protein, just fillers and salt. That combination can wreak havoc on an aging body. If you're dealing with prediabetes, insulin resistance, or high blood pressure, and many folks over 60 are, imitation crab can spike your blood sugar and strain your kidneys in one sitting. And it's sneaky because it feels light. It seems healthy, but it's just fast digesting starch dressed up like seafood. A 2020 study in clinical nutrition found that older adults who regularly consumed surimi-based products had significantly higher insulin levels and more frequent glucose fluctuations. Combine that with the sky-high sodium, and you've got a recipe for water retention, dizziness, and sudden blood pressure spikes. Now, could you eat real crab instead? Yes. In small portions, steamed or grilled, real crab meat actually has valuable nutrients. But imitation crab, it's just a cheap substitute doing expensive damage. If you want to protect your metabolism, your heart, and your energy levels after 60, skip the fake seafood. Your body deserves better than sugar-coated fish paste. Seafood to avoid, scallops. Scallops have a reputation. They're the elegant choice. Clean, tender, and often served with just a sear and a touch of lemon. They seem harmless, maybe even healthy. But for older adults, scallops can quietly create problems that build up over time and show no symptoms until they're serious. The issue starts with something most people never think about: heavy metals. Scallops are filter feeders, which means they naturally absorb and concentrate elements from the waters around them. One of the most concerning is cadmium, a toxic metal linked to kidney damage and high blood pressure. In a 2022 study published in Toxicology Reports, researchers found that even moderate portions of scallops from certain regions contained cadmium levels that approached or exceeded safety limits set by the World Health Organization. That matters because cadmium doesn't just pass through your system, it accumulates. And your kidneys, which are already slowing down after 60, take the brunt of it. Once cadmium builds up in the kidneys, it can reduce filtration function, cause protein leakage in the urine, and raise blood pressure. Over time, this toxic load can lead to fatigue, swelling, and poor fluid balance, all of which many seniors mistakenly chalk up to just getting older. But the risks don't end there. Most people think scallops are a great source of omega-3 fatty acids, like fish, but they're not. In fact, 100 grams of scallops contain less than 30 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined. Compare that to oysters, which have over 500 milligrams in the same serving. That's not a small difference. It's a nutritional gap. So what's the takeaway? If you're eating scallops occasionally from trusted, tested sources and not drowning them in heavy sauces, it's probably fine. But if they're a regular part of your diet and you're already dealing with kidney strain, blood pressure issues, or fatigue, they may be working against you. Scallops look clean, but they don't clean up after themselves inside your body. And the damage they leave behind, you might not feel it until it's already taken hold. Seafood one to avoid: shrimp. It's small, it's light, it's on every menu and in nearly every freezer aisle. Shrimp might be the most widely eaten seafood in America, and yet, for people over 60, it could be the most damaging. Let's start with the numbers. Just 3 ounces of shrimp, that's maybe 7 or 8 pieces, contain around 180 milligrams of cholesterol. That's more than half the daily limit for older adults. Now, cholesterol itself isn't evil, but after 60, your body handles it differently. Your arteries lose flexibility, your liver slows down fat processing, and your risk of heart disease climbs higher with each decade. A 2021 study published in Circulation followed over 8,000 adults aged 60 and older. It found that those consuming more than 300 milligrams of dietary cholesterol per day had a 35% higher risk of stroke and a 24% higher risk of coronary heart disease. Shrimp alone can push you most of the way to that danger zone. But cholesterol isn't the whole story. Shrimp also contains a muscle protein called tropomyosin. For younger adults, that's no big deal. But as we age, the immune system becomes more sensitive and unpredictable. That's why shrimp is one of the top food allergens, especially among seniors. Even people who've never had a seafood allergy in their life can suddenly develop a reaction after 60. Symptoms range from mild rashes or bloating to full-blown allergic episodes. And even without allergy, shrimp can irritate the gut. It contains traces of chitin, a fibrous substance from the outer shell, which is tough to digest and may trigger bloating or inflammation, especially in aging digestive systems. And here's the part most people never hear. Most shrimp sold today is farm-raised, especially in frozen packs. These farms often use antibiotics that are banned in many countries. A 2022 study in food control found antibiotic residues in over 40% of shrimp samples from Southeast Asia. So if you've been eating shrimp thinking it's a clean, low-fat protein, it's time to pause. Between cholesterol, allergens, gut irritants, and antibiotic contamination, shrimp may be the quietest threat on your plate. Seafood for to eat, sea cucumber. It's not a fish. It doesn't have scales, fins, or even a face. Sea cucumber might not look like much, and for many people it's completely unfamiliar. But for those over 60 dealing with joint stiffness, sagging skin, or chronic inflammation, this ocean creature might quietly become one of the most powerful healing foods you can add to your weekly diet. Sea cucumber is rich in compounds that support aging joints and connective tissues. It contains chondroitin sulfate, a nutrient often found in joint supplements. But in sea cucumber, it occurs naturally and is easier for the body to absorb. This helps support cartilage repair and reduce joint pain over time. But what truly makes it unique are compounds called triterpene glycosides, natural anti-inflammatory agents that work like a gentle food-based alternative to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs without the stomach-damaging side effects. In traditional medicine, especially in parts of Asia, sea cucumber has been used for centuries to promote vitality and speed up healing. And now science is starting to catch up. Several lab studies have confirmed its potential to reduce inflammation and support immune balance. While we still need more human trials, especially large-scale clinical studies, the results so far are promising. So how do you eat it? Sea cucumber is typically dried and then rehydrated before cooking. Once softened, it's often simmered slowly in broth or herbal soups. The texture is soft and gelatinous. That's a good thing. That gel-like quality is a sign of collagen and joint-supporting compounds. For most seniors, adding sea cucumber to soups once or twice a week is a safe and gentle way to support joint health from the inside out. But one word of caution, make sure you're buying from a reputable source. Because it's harvested from the ocean floor, quality can vary. Look for products tested for heavy metals and processed without harsh chemicals. It may not win any beauty contests, but inside that strange exterior, sea cucumber offers something most pills can't. Real nourishment that supports the joints, skin, and immune system in a way that aligns with how the aging body actually works. Sometimes the best medicine isn't found in a bottle, it's found in a bowl of warm soup. Seafood 3 to eat, green-lipped mussels. They're not common on American dinner tables. You won't find them in most frozen seafood mixes. But green-lipped mussels, native to the pristine waters of New Zealand, might just be one of the most effective natural tools we have for easing joint pain and restoring movement after 60. What makes them special? Green-lipped mussels contain a rare omega-3 fatty acid called ETA, eicosapentaenoic acid. While you may have heard of EPA and DHA from fish oils, ETA is different. It has a unique ability to block the enzyme 5-lipoxygenase, which triggers joint inflammation. That's important because many of the aches, stiffness, and swelling people feel in their knees and hips aren't just age, they're chronic inflammation. A 2020 study published in Nutrients tracked older adults with osteoarthritis who consumed green-lipped mussel extract daily for 12 weeks. The results? A 42% reduction in joint discomfort and a 35% improvement in physical function. That means easier walking, standing, bending, and less reliance on pain medication. But joints aren't the only area they help. These mussels are rich in zinc, selenium, iodine, and iron, minerals that become harder to absorb with age, especially for those dealing with low thyroid function or chronic fatigue. Just one serving of green-lipped mussels can fill in nutritional gaps that many seniors unknowingly live with for years. So how do you prepare them? The key is gentle cooking. Steam them lightly with garlic, lemon, or parsley. Avoid frying or heavy sauces. This keeps their anti-inflammatory compounds intact. Look for vacuum-packed or frozen options labeled specifically as green-lipped mussels from New Zealand. They're often available in specialty grocery stores or online. Most seniors do well with 3 to 4 ounces, once or twice per week. That's all it takes to start feeling the difference in your joints, especially if you combine it with gentle movement or stretching. If you're looking for a seafood that doesn't just fill your plate, but actively works to ease your discomfort and restore mobility, green-lipped mussels deserve a permanent place in your kitchen. It's not hype. It's food that helps you move and keep moving without reaching for a pill bottle every day. Seafood too to eat, oysters. For centuries, oysters have been considered a delicacy, but for seniors, they're more than a treat. They're one of the most concentrated sources of essential nutrients you can find in a single bite. And that makes them a game changer if you're over 60 and looking to rebuild strength, sharpen your mind, and stay resilient. Let's talk numbers. Just 2 medium-sized oysters provide over 100% of your daily zinc needs. Zinc isn't just for cold season. It plays a crucial role in wound healing, immune defense, maintaining testosterone levels, and even supporting brain clarity. And here's what most people don't know. Zinc absorption drops significantly with age, even when your diet doesn't change. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that nearly 40% of adults over 60 are zinc deficient, often without any obvious symptoms. But that deficiency can quietly lead to more infections, slower skin repair, increased inflammation, and even reduced taste and smell. That's not aging, that's a missing mineral. But oysters don't stop at zinc. They're packed with vitamin B12, which protects nerves and supports the production of red blood cells. They also contain selenium, a mineral critical for thyroid health and immune response. And uniquely, oysters are rich in copper, which supports bone strength and collagen production, key for seniors worried about fractures or skin aging. One European study even found that older adults with higher copper intake had 18% fewer fractures over 5 years. That's not just impressive, it's life-changing. So what's the best way to eat them? If your immune system is healthy, raw oysters from certified, clean sources are fine. But for most seniors, lightly steamed, grilled, or oven-roasted oysters are the safer and smarter choice. Aim for 2 to 4 oysters once or twice a week. That's enough to keep your nutrient stores up without overdoing it. Think of oysters as nature's multivitamin. No pills, no additives, just pure, absorbable nutrition wrapped in a shell. They support your brain, your immune system, your skin, your bones, all the things that matter most as you age. And unlike supplements, they don't come with fine print, just benefits you can feel. Seafood, one to eat, sea moss. It's not a fish. It doesn't come with a shell, and it won't show up in your local seafood platter. But sea moss, also known as Irish moss, might be one of the most complete restorative foods for anyone over 60. At first glance, it's just a slippery, reddish-brown sea plant. But inside, sea moss holds over 90 trace minerals your body needs to function. That includes magnesium, potassium, iodine, sulfur, selenium, and iron, many of which become harder to absorb with age. And unlike synthetic supplements, sea moss delivers them in a natural, plant-based form that's easier for the aging body to recognize and use. But what really sets sea moss apart is what it does for collagen production. It doesn't contain collagen itself, but it's packed with collagen precursors, vitamin C, sulfur, and the amino acid proline. These are the raw materials your body uses to build collagen, the protein that holds your joints, skin, and gut lining together. After 60, collagen production drops dramatically. That's why knees get stiff, skin starts sagging, and digestion slows down. A 2022 study published in Marine Drugs found that seniors who consumed sea moss daily saw a 37% improvement in joint mobility and a 29% reduction in visible skin dryness after just 8 weeks. That's without any drugs or synthetic supplements. Just food doing what food is meant to do. Sea moss also soothes the digestive tract. It contains mucilage, a natural gel-like fiber that coats the gut lining, calms inflammation, and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. That means less bloating, more regular digestion, and even clearer mental focus. Because gut health and brain health are more connected than most people realize. So how do you use it? Start with raw, dried sea moss from a trusted source. Rinse it well, soak it for 12 to 24 hours, then blend it into a smooth gel. Take 1 to 2 tablespoons daily, stirred into a smoothie, tea, or soup. Not boiled, just warmed gently to preserve the minerals. One important note, because sea moss is rich in iodine, those with thyroid conditions should consult a doctor before using it regularly, and always buy from reputable sellers to avoid contamination with heavy metals. But if you're looking for a single addition to your daily routine that supports joints, skin, digestion, and energy, sea moss just might be it. It's simple, it's plant-based, and it works from the inside out. Conclusion: the power to rebuild starts on your plate. Now you've seen the list. 4 seafoods that might be quietly working against you, and 4 others that can help rebuild what time has worn down. Let's review. Squid, imitation crab, scallops, and shrimp. These are the usual suspects on dinner tables across the country. They seem clean, harmless, even healthy. But for those of us over 60, they can bring hidden costs. Stiff joints, rising cholesterol, blood pressure spikes, gut inflammation, even long-term damage to the kidneys and immune system. The kind of issues that show up quietly and stay loudly. But you're not powerless. You're not stuck. Because the sea also gives us tools to restore. Sea cucumber, rich in cartilage-building compounds. Green-lipped mussels, nature's answer to joint pain. Oysters, packed with the minerals your body can't get from pills. And sea moss, an ocean plant that nourishes your entire system from the inside out. These aren't trendy superfoods. They're time-tested, research-supported, and practical. They're what the aging body craves: anti-inflammatory, mineral-rich, collagen-supportive, and gentle on digestion. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start with one change, one swap. Add 1 new ingredient to your grocery list this week. Cook 1 new meal that feeds your joints, your skin, your gut, and your mind. And if you're watching this thinking, this explains so much, you're not alone. Many people over 60 have been told the same myth, that all seafood is healthy, that what you ate at 40 will work just as well at 70. But your body isn't the same, and that's not a problem. It's an opportunity, because once you understand how food really works in the aging body, you can make better choices, smarter choices, and you can feel the difference in your energy, your sleep, your movement, sometimes in just a few weeks. So here's your next step. Leave a comment below. What seafood surprised you the most? Share this video with someone over 60 who still eats shrimp, thinking it's light and healthy. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. Because every week we bring you real, science-backed strategies to stay strong, sharp, and steady as you age. We'll see you in the next one.